Today we're going to go old school and practice English with the good old listen and repeat method. In this episode, I'm going to give you 50 useful phrases for everyday communication. These phrases are spread across 5 different potential situations or scenarios. So get your mouth, your tongue, and your muscles of articulation ready because today you will be doing some speaking in English. Are you ready? Let's get started. Hey there, how's it going? Thiago here, and welcome to another episode of the podcast. In case you're listening to me for the first time, this podcast is intended to help intermediate and advanced learners of English communicate with more confidence, more accuracy, more clarity, and more awareness. If this sounds like something you want for yourself and your English, subscribe to the channel here on YouTube and also follow the show on Spotify or Apple Podcasts because that way you won't miss a single new episode. Also, before I start with the phrases today, check out my pronunciation course, The Sounds of English. This is a course I've created to teach you the main sounds of the English language so that you can improve your pronunciation with it. And also, this course teaches you the main connected speech patterns that you hear native speakers using when they speak fast English. So, if you want to speak more clearly, with better pronunciation, improve your flow, and better understand media, native speakers in media, check out the course. I think it can be a valuable addition to your studies. Also, check out my private community. This is a community where you get to interact with me and other members on a monthly basis. You get to talk to members, share things that you're struggling with, share your wins, ask questions about English, and members organize live meetups across the month so that they can get together under my supervision, of course, and practice conversation. So if you want to be part of a community and have the chance to join live calls with members and also with myself every month, check out the private community as well. Not to mention the exclusive content you unlock that is not available here on my public channels. You also get access to that type of content by becoming a member. So both the links for the pronunciation course and the community can be found here in the description of the video, in the pinned comment below, and in the show notes if you are listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. So before we start with the phrases today, I want to talk to you a little bit about why this method is good, the method of listening and repeating, because some people might be opposed to this method, the listen and repeat method. They might argue that this is an old-fashioned approach to language learning. But hey, it works, doesn't it? It certainly worked for me, so why reinvent the wheel? So let me give you here some reasons why this simple method of listening and repeating works and why is it good. I would say that listening and repeating is the foundation of language learning. Repetition is a natural way of learning languages. It's how children learn their mother tongue, for example. Listening to sounds, words, and phrases, and then attempting to replicate them is fundamental to language acquisition. Also, it helps with pronunciation. It helps to improve your pronunciation. Regular practice through repetition helps you become familiar with the sounds of the English language, the rhythm of the language, and this leads to better pronunciation and even better accent over time. And by better accent, I mean a more clear type of accent, not necessarily a native-like accent, but a clear, intelligible type of accent. That's what I mean by better accent, okay? It also helps with retention. Repeating phrases aids in memorization. The more frequently you hear and say a phrase, the more likely you are to remember this phrase in real-life situations. It also improves your listening skills. By focusing on listening and repeating, you develop your ability to understand spoken language. And this is crucial for effective communication. I would also say that listening and repeating out loud helps you with confidence. It helps you build up your confidence some more. As you become more comfortable with pronouncing words and phrases correctly, your confidence in speaking also increases. And this is encouraging because then you want to interact in English, for example, in the target language, more and more. And it's also a great way for you to get immediate feedback Because when you repeat after a proficient speaker, if this person is next to you and listening to you, this person can immediately gauge your accuracy and make adjustments, leading to quicker improvement. So if you have maybe classes with a teacher and you do this listening and repeating, the teacher there can listen to you and give you feedback on the spot. All right? Or any other proficient speaker that you talk to. Here are some other benefits of employing this method of listening and repeating. First of all, I think it's accessible. This method can be easily implemented without the need for advanced technology or resources. You can practice anywhere just with audio recordings or even with language apps that have audio content. It's flexible. This method allows you to practice at your own pace and also revisit challenging phrases as needed. So it's very low pressure, I would say. It adds variety to your practice because you can use listen and repeat in various contexts. In the classroom with your teacher, for self-studying when you are studying by yourself. So you can combine these contexts and employ listen and repeat in all of them. All right. Also, the cool thing about listening and repeating is that usually exercises of that nature tend to focus on real life phrases. By using common phrases and expressions, you can quickly acquire language skills that are directly applicable to everyday situations. And finally, engagement. Interactive repetition can make learning more engaging, more dynamic, especially when combined with visual aids or dynamic presenters. All right. So these are some benefits that I see in this method of listening to something in English and repeating it out loud. All right. So now let's jump into the phrases that I have for you today. So here's how it's going to work. For each situation, there are 5 situations here. For each situation, there are 10 phrases. I'm going to read each one of them 3 times. The first time at regular speed, the second time slightly slower, and the third time back to regular speed. I'm going to give you a few seconds in between the sentences so that you can also repeat them out loud after me. So first you listen to me, and then you repeat out loud. But if you need more time, just pause the video, just pause the episode, and then you can repeat out loud. But make sure you do that because, I prepared this episode so that you can practice your speaking right there on your end. Are you ready? So let's get started. Situation 1, making small talk at work. How was your weekend? How was your weekend? How was your weekend? I want to point out something interesting here. Do you see that there is an S after was, at the end of was, and also the Y for you? This combination here of S and Y can be pronounced like this: was your. So the S for was here has a Z sound, okay? Was, and then you just join the Z sound with the your word, was your. So that's the way I read at first. How was your weekend? But some speakers, myself included, tend to pronounce this combination as a je. I would normally say this: was your, how was your, how was your, how was your weekend? How was your weekend? All right. This is a little pronunciation quirk, let's say, that some speakers have. I certainly have that. But if you really want to pronounce the true sound here, keep a Z. Was your. How was your weekend? How was your weekend? But you might hear other speakers going, how was your weekend? How was your? All right. It's a little quirk that some speakers have, including me. Okay. But let's move on here now to the second sentence. Did you do anything fun recently? Did you do anything fun recently? Did you do anything fun recently? How's the project going? How's the project going? How's the project going? Have you heard the latest news? Have you heard the latest news? Have you heard the latest news? Can you believe this weather? Can you believe this weather? Can you believe this weather? What do you think about the new manager? What do you think about the new manager? What do you think about the new manager? Are you working on anything exciting? Are you working on anything exciting? Are you working on anything exciting? Did you catch the game last night? Did you catch the game last night? Did you catch the game last night? How do you usually spend your lunch break? How do you usually spend your lunch break? How do you usually spend your lunch break? What's your favorite part of working here? What's your favorite part of working here? What's your favorite part of working here? Situation 2. Ordering at the restaurant. Can I see the menu, please? Can I see the menu, please? Can I see the menu, please? What do you recommend? What do you recommend? What do you recommend? I'll have the special, please. I'll have the special, please. I'll have the special, please. Could I get that without onions? Could I get that without onions? Could I get that without onions? Can I have a side of fries with that? Can I have a side of fries with that? Can I have a side of fries with that? Is this dish spicy? Is this dish spicy? Is this dish spicy? I'd like to order some dessert, please. I'd like to order some dessert, please. I'd like to order some dessert, please. Could we have separate checks? Could we have separate checks? Could we have separate checks? Can I get a refill on my drink? Can I get a refill on my drink? Can I get a refill on my drink? Thank you. Everything was delicious. Thank you. Everything was delicious. Thank you. Everything was delicious. Situation 3. Shopping at a clothing store. Do you have this in a different size? Do you have this in a different size? Do you have this in a different size? Is there a fitting room available? Is there a fitting room available? Is there a fitting room available? How much does this cost? How much does this cost? How much does this cost? Do you have any sales going on? Do you have any sales going on? Do you have any sales going on? Can I return this if it doesn't fit? Can I return this if it doesn't fit? Can I return this if it doesn't fit? What's your return policy? What's your return policy? What's your return policy? Do you have this in another color? Do you have this in another color? Do you have this in another color? Could you help me find a matching top? Could you help me find a matching top? Could you help me find a matching top? Is this made of cotton? Is this made of cotton? Is this made of cotton? Do you offer any discounts? Do you offer any discounts? Do you offer any discounts? Situation 4. Catching up with an old friend. How have you been? How have you been? How have you been? It's been too long. It's been too long. It's been too long. What's new in your life? What's new in your life? Do you remember when we used to? Do you remember when we used to? Are you still working at the same place? Are you still working at the same place? Are you still working at the same place? How's your family doing? How's your family doing? How's your family doing? Remember the pronunciation quirk here? I would probably say here, how's your family? How's your family? Hey, how's your family doing? How's your family doing? All right? So how's your, or the true sound here would be how's your family doing? Do you keep in touch with anyone from school? Do you keep in touch with anyone from school? Do you keep in touch with anyone from school? Have you traveled anywhere exciting recently? Have you traveled anywhere exciting recently? Have you traveled anywhere exciting recently? What are you up to these days? What are you up to these days? What are you up to these days? We should get together more often. We should get together more often. We should get together more often. Situation 5. Getting to know a newly made friend. Where are you from originally? Where are you from originally? Where are you from originally? What do you like to do in your free time? What do you like to do in your free time? What do you like to do in your free time? How did you end up in this city? How did you end up in this city? How did you end up in this city? What kind of music do you enjoy? What kind of music do you enjoy? What kind of music do you enjoy? Do you have any hobbies or interests? Do you have any hobbies or interests? Do you have any hobbies or interests? What's your favorite food? What's your favorite food? What's your favorite food? Have you seen any good movies lately? Have you seen any good movies lately? Have you seen any good movies lately? Are you into any sports? Are you into any sports? Are you into any sports? Do you have any pets? Do you have any pets? Do you have any pets? What book are you currently reading? What book are you currently reading? What book are you currently reading? And there you have it. These are the 50 conversational phrases I wanted to share with you today. I hope you enjoyed this practice. Remember, some final words here. Save this video and come back to it multiple times to review these phrases and practice them. Make sure you use these phrases in your English conversations. The more active you are as a learner, the better and faster results you will have. So, before we conclude today's episode, it's time for the Learner's Corner. I have here a very nice audio message from Christian Jimenez Ayala. I believe he's from Bolivia. So, let's listen to what Christian has to share with us.
Hello, Thiago. Good afternoon. How are you doing, man? Chris Jimenez here. So I'm here just for expressing you my thankfulness for all of the valuable content that you offer on every single video that you upload on your YouTube channel. I find your English learning journey so inspiring because I am trying to do the same. I know that you learned English from scratch without moving to an English speaking country. So I am trying to do the same. By the way, I am from Bolivia, but I currently live here in Brazil, in Curitiba, Paraná. I moved here 2 years ago, and I'm trying to do the same. That is enhancing and boosting my English from here. And every time that I need inspiration and I need to learn something new, I go directly to your YouTube channel. So thank you so much. Something interesting about me is that I never been a good English student. In fact, I think that I was the worst English student when I was in the elementary school and in the high school. But nowadays, I think that I enhanced it so much. I can hold an English conversation, and actually I guide English conversation in a language platform online. So that's it for today, Thiago. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Nice, Christian. Very nice message. Thank you so much for taking the time to record it and to share it with me. And it's awesome that you are from Bolivia, but you are actually living in Brazil now. So you've been in Brazil for 2 years, you said, right? Well, I hope you have been enjoying Brazil and enjoying your stay here. You are in the south. Yeah. I personally am a fan of the south of Brazil. I think there are many beautiful cities in the south. So I imagine you must be enjoying your stay as well. All right. Um, I also found interesting what you said about not being a very good student of English when you were younger, when you were in school, but now you are doing well and you are looking to improve. I think it's related to also your reason for learning. Usually, when we are very young and we have to learn things at school, we don't have a clear reason why we are doing that. We just study that because we have to do it, or somebody, the teachers or our parents, tell us to do it. But as an adult, once you realize the importance of something, English, for example, I guess that gives you the reason you need it all along. You have the motivation to actually try to get better and improve. And I would also say that your English is very good. I can hear that you are able to speak with some fluency already, which is great. If I were to give you a recommendation or a tip, would be to focus more on pronunciation. By pronunciation, I mean the sounds of certain words, individual sounds. So take some time to learn more about pronunciation, how to pronounce certain words, the sounds of English. But aside from that, when it comes to overall fluency, you already have it. You can communicate without any hiccups. So good job. That's amazing. Thanks again for sharing the message, for following the work here, following the channel, the podcast, and keep following the videos. All right. And guys, if you want to do just like Christian, you can send me an audio message as well by going to speakpipe.com/English with Thiago. Or if you prefer, you can also send me an email at hello.teacherthiago@gmail.com. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel here. Leave me a 5-star review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. That also helps me a lot there. And check out my pronunciation course and private community. These can be wonderful allies in your English studies and practice. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Let me know in the comment section here below what you thought about the episode today. This type of episode, it was a little bit different than the usual format. It was something more for you to practice listening and repeating, listening and repeating. So let me know what you thought about these phrases and this type of episode. But that's it for now. I'm Thiago. I'm signing off. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll be talking to you very soon in the upcoming episode. Bye bye.